Hi, welcome in this Mesh Exploder tutorial. In this tutorial I will show you how to use this asset. Mesh Exploder is a simple script you can use for your game objects. It doesn't use burst compiler or shaders, so it should be safe for mobile or all devices. But you must know that it animates every triangle of the mesh using C#, so it can be performance heavy for very detailed meshes. So I think it will be best used in the low poly objects like this laying here. With Mesh Exploder you will get also 4 low poly objects. You can test this asset on these objects. If you want more such objects, go to my developer page on Unity Asset Store, so you can see what's there. So let's start with this suitcase. To explode it, you just need to add one component, which is Mesh Exploder. After adding this component, we can set some parameters. So for example, the first one is to explode this object right now. So you can toggle this boolean to explode this mesh, or you can use an action which I will show later how they can be used. So let's dive deep into these parameters. So the first group is to recalculate normals, tangents and bounds. If your game depends on that, you can check these boxes, but be aware that each such calculation increase performance of the explosion. So for now we will leave only normals. Next parameter is create game objects. So for now mesh will be exploded, and triangles which are from which this mesh is made of will fly away from this object. So let's test it. So for now we have default parameters and we can play, and as I told you earlier, when we click explode now, or in our code we will change this boolean value, this mesh should be exploded. So let's explode it now. As you can see, the suitcase was exploded. We can tweak some parameters. So for example, if you want to have greater speed of explosion, you can change this, and we have faster explosion. Also we can change gravity, so we can add it to this object. Please note that when this checkbox is not checked, each triangle which you see in the explosion is a mesh triangle. So these are not proper game objects, but when you press this boolean, then each triangle in this mesh will be a new game object. So let's try this now. So when we play and explode it, we can see that each triangle acts as game object. So we can increase the time, and this time is in seconds, and after this time all created debris will be destroyed. So we can try this now. As you can see, these parts are proper game objects which are which have colliders and rigid bodies, so they collide with the environment. But you must be aware that when we use this option and when the mesh is very complicated, consists of many thousands of objects, so Mesh Exploder will create that many game objects. So for example, if we have a mesh with 10,000 of vertices or triangles, 10,000 triangles, so exploding this mesh will cause your game to create 10,000 triangle game objects, which can be very performance heavy. So you must think for which object or which game this parameter can be used. As you can see, we have parameters here. Well, let's try to use them. So the first one is use normals as explosion. So for now, when this option is not checked, this explosion will originate in the center, in the geometric center of this object. So the center of the explosion was something like in the middle of this suitcase. But when we click this drop down, you can see that we can originate our explosion at pivot. So this will be origin of this game object. And we can also use offset, and we can place explosion origin somewhere, for example, outside of this suitcase. So let's give it something like this, and after play you can see that this suitcase was something like squashed from right side. Okay, so let's go to other objects. We have some pillow. We'll add Mesh Exploder to it, and we'll try other options. So for example, we have normalized direction. This parameter is causing that each direction vector which is created by this explosion is normalized, and then the speed of this explosion is applied to it. So this explosion look like this, but when we turn it off, you can see that it will change a little. Let's turn on game objects. It also depends on the speed which is used here. So let's see how it explodes now. Basically, when this option is checked off, we normalize each direction vector and multiply it by this speed. But when this is not checked, we are calculating distance from the origin of the explosion to the mesh triangle and apply this speed. So triangles which are farther from the origin will go faster in that way. The last parameter which I would like to cover here is use normals as explosions directions. So in that case we don't specify origin of the explosion, because each normal vector from this mesh is used as direction vector. So we can check how this works. As you can see, maybe it will be better seen in this suitcase. So when we use this option, and maybe we'll turn off gravity, so you can see that this wall has normal which points outwards, so that way it is moving in that direction. The next parameter I would like to discuss is double-sided. As you can see, after explosion each part of this mesh has two sides, so we can see it from any angle, but we can turn it off if you don't want this behavior. So for example, when we click double-sided off, you can see that we have our one-sided triangles. This sometimes can be good, but sometimes can look weird, so you must try for yourself which option is best for you. So let's try this pillow and also remove this check. And maybe we'll change to game objects. If explosion is very quick, it is probably best to not to turn this on, but you can do what do you want. Let's move to another object. For this ball, we will use our Mesh Exploder script, and there is one parameter which is called friction, and this acts like air friction, so each part will be slowed down by this parameter. This only works for animating meshes, not for game objects, so when we use game objects, this option will disappear. So let's try this and give, for example, 0.9, and let's try to explode this ball. As you can see, explosion stopped in this moment because this friction caused that each triangle was no speed, has no speed. So let's increase this value. So for example, we will give 9, and you can see that explosion is much larger and it disappears. And the last one, we have this bottle. We'll give it Mesh Exploder, and for example we'll try something different, and we will give a negative speed to get effect of implosion instead of explosion. So when we play, you can see that bottle was imploded. Maybe it was too quick, so I will slow it down. Sorry, not rugby, but let's try this now. As you can see, bottle has collapsed. Okay, so we have these basic options. The next section is explosion time. So you saw how I used this. So basically it tells how many seconds the object and its debris is visible on the screen. After this time, explosion finishes. We can check this checkbox. So you need to destroy this object after explosion is finished. You can of course uncheck this, and let's try something bigger. We have two stacks of cubes, and let's try this first one. So we have a cube, and we'll add maybe to this one mesh exploder, and we can uncheck this box and see that these parts will not be destroyed. So when we play, you can see that they are hovering in the air. These are not game objects, but mesh, which triangles are separated. So if we want to have game objects, we can click, of course, this button, and they will act as physical objects. Of course, these cubes are not physics objects. They are not. They have no rigid body attached, so they are not falling. We can do this by adding this parameter. When create game object checkbox is checked, you can see that the new event is added. So when it is not checked, we have on explosion started and on explosion finished. So we have two Unity events. First is called when explode now is pressed, and second one is called when explosion will finish. So when this time goes below 0, explosion finished is called. For game objects, we have also on parts created event, which can be used, for example, to add some components to this newly created game objects or something else. This event system can be used to chain explosions some way. So, for example, if you want to cause that this first cube will explode, and second and the third, and not all at once, so we can do this using events. So let's try to make this maybe that all cubes will explode simultaneously firstly. So we'll add a mesh exploder to each of them. Maybe I remove this and add this that way. And for example, when we explode this large cube, we want to explode also the smaller ones. So let's add Unity event and place the smaller cube. Also, we will see that we have mesh exploder script, and we have two methods which can be used. For example, explode, which will call explosion script for this cube. Destroy will destroy this object. Maybe you want to have such functionality, so I've added this. So we have explode, and when we press play and explode this script, you can see that these two cubes were exploded. This smaller one not exploded because we must add also Unity event and drag this cube to. So now when we press play and we'll try to explode this large cube, you can see that all of them are exploded. Okay, so that was simultaneous explosion. Let's try to something like cascade explosion. So we will explode this small cube, and this larger cube, and biggest should explode after that. So some kind of cascade explosion. So let's add mesh exploder to our cubes, we will set to create game objects. This time also okay, let's start with this smaller one. When it will be destroyed, we must call explosion on this larger one. So when explosion is finished, we are adding this to our event and call explode. And when this smaller one is destroyed, we also add new event and explode. Okay, so let's start with this smaller one. We will explode it. As you can see, when it is destroyed, the event is sent and the cubes are exploding. We can decrease the time so it will happen faster. Okay, and let's try this smaller one. As you can see, everything was quickly destroyed. So thank you for watching. I hope this will be helpful. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the description or in the comment of this video. Thank you.